Welcome in to True Country Home. So today I thought I'd just bring you a short video of what we plan to plant this fall in Zone 9A, which actually the fall is better for a lot of the root crops and leafy greens than the spring because it gets so warm so quick here. So just thought I'd run you through in order here, from this side to this side of what we're going to plant and when. So we're going to go ahead and get in. This is around the 1st of September. We're going to go ahead and get in green beans. This is a Burpee brand and this is a Ferry-Morse. We're going to go ahead and get these in as soon as possible. They're both a bush type bean, so normally they have a 75-day window. So if we get them in September, October, we'll be harvesting sometime around mid-November, which if we have a first frost, it can be as early as around the 10th of December, but this gets us a couple weeks of pickings before that could happen. We could have one earlier, it's just a chance you take, but it's a good time to get a second crop in on green beans. Next thing we're going to plant, of course, these are Baker Hughes here, or Baker Creek, sorry. Welsh onion. This is just a bunching onion. This is a Burpee brand, Tokyo Long White. Another evergreen bunching from Ferry-Morse, and another bunching onion. We don't really, we use a lot of Baker Creek, but whatever we can find, we'll plant. So we'll go ahead and get these bunching onions in. They do real well going into the cool weather. A lot faster than a regular bulbing onion. These don't bulb, they just bunch. So it's really a good thing going into the fall. Now some of these have longer time than others. This one particularly here says 120 days. This one says 60 to 65. So we like to mix and just get a variety. And some of these packages I bought, for 20 cents, so you really can't go wrong. For 20 cents, I'll put them out. If we don't get anything, so be it. Next item we'll be planting will be beets. These are a Detroit Dark Red from Ferry-Morse. This is also a Detroit Dark Red, actually a 59-cent package. So you have less seeds in here, but there again, we'll get them in. We don't do real well with beets. They don't seem to bulb well here in Zone 9A, but we keep giving it a shot every year. The fall is better than the springtime. This is a Purple Top White Globe turnip. We have two different packages of those, one from Ferry-Morse, the other from American Seed. We'll go ahead and get those in as well. Turnips tend to do pretty well. Moving on, we have two items here from Baker Creek, two different types of kohlrabi. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that name. And this one is an early white Vienna. Both are a pretty tasty kohlrabi, which do really well here. Next, something that does really well direct sown here in Zone 9A is rutabaga. This is a Laurenthan from Baker Creek, and this is a American Purple Top rutabaga. So they do really well here. Moving along, we're going to go ahead and plant some radishes. This is a white icicle type radish, and then we plant your basic red radish, which is Crimson Giant in this case. The fall is really good here for planting herbs, so we're going to go ahead and cilantro. You need nights at 60 degrees or even 50 degrees for cilantro. Any warmer than that, it'll bolt. So we're going to go ahead and get cilantro planted. This is a free gift from Baker Creek. So when you order some of their seeds, they send a free gift. So I highly recommend them as a seed company. They're out of Mansfield, Missouri, but their seeds do really well here in the South and around the country from what I've seen. moving on, we go ahead and plant a lot of leafy greens. So this is a what they call 1,000 head kale from Baker Creek as well, and the leaves get really large. They can get up to 18 inches long, and it performed well for us last year. This is kale toscana, which is a Portuguese kale used in a lot of cooking in Brazil. This is a mustard green, so we'll go ahead and get this planted as well. We enjoy that. And this is the good old standard American collard green, which does exceptionally well all the way into April and actually perennializes here in our garden in Zone 9A. So moving on a little later, this will be more towards the end of October into maybe the early part of November. This is a carrot from Baker Creek called Oxheart. It's very short, very thick carrot. Does really well in heavy clay soil, so I would highly recommend that. And going down through, you can see we don't grow a lot of long carrots. These are a Touchon. It's more of a stocky carrot. Does well in clay soil again, as we have raised beds here, but in Texas it's heavy clay soil in Zone 9A. Danvers 126 is probably one of the longer carrots we'll try. We also have a Nantes half long, again to take advantage of our rough soil here, and a short and sweet carrot. Again, they're not anything long. We usually use a shorter carrot. And then as well, this I may not plant because this seed is from last year, so we've got some more coming. But we'll also go ahead and plant parsnips. We do several different types of parsnip here on the homestead. So these are root crops and what we direct sow, and then on top of that, we're also going to plant cabbage from starts. That does really well here. We also do other herbs from starts, sage, and those sorts of things. Later on, probably almost towards December and January, the heart of what winter would be here, we go ahead and plant peas. Those tend to do really well. Obviously, we're in a small urban area, so it takes a lot of space to get any production from peas, but we usually plant a few just to have them. And then we try to plant, which are actually now's the time to put them in, as fall potatoes. We try to get some, but they're better for the spring. But and lettuce as well. You could grow some lettuce, but these are basically the things. It's heavy root crops, heavy leafy greens that we plant in the fall. It does well here in Zone 9A because a lot of these things can take a frost. We'll also go ahead, and in the past we planted, which has done real well. We've planted some cauliflower. We planted broccoli. They do well. Obviously, we'll plant garlic and regular bulbing onions as well towards November. Garlic will go in around the 15th of October, and they'll grow completely through the winter time. And the broccoli and cauliflower, they do well. They don't really, the frost, we get 2 or 3 or maybe 4 frosts per year. It doesn't seem to affect them. So we'll get those in as well later on towards the end of November, December. But I just thought I'd bring you in here from month to month what we're going to plant here in the fall here in Zone 9A. So I appreciate you spending some time with us here today at Two Country Home, and I hope and encourage everybody to get out and plant something in the garden. I know it's coming to the end of the season for a lot of you in a lot of the parts of the US, but if you still have any time, or if you're in the South, I encourage you to get out and plant. Especially in the South, you have less heat, which obviously makes it better working in the garden. You have less weed pressure, and you have less pests. So in the South, anywhere along the Gulf Coast, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Louisiana, Texas, now is the time, really is the garden season. So I appreciate y'all spending some time with us today at Two Country Home. God bless.